Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Double Feature Podcast. And today we are here.
Podcast.
Absolutely. This is the long-awaited podcast, of course, and the long-awaited episode for the Gen V Season 2 and Peacemaker Season 2 finales. We'll also be giving our quick thoughts on the Black Phone at the end of this in case you want to stick around for that. But as always, you know, we do this pretty much every week. We're definitely going to keep doing this. What drops next? Welcome to Dairy. Welcome to Dairy is about to drop. So we're definitely going to cover that weekly.
Does that drop all at once, or is
I
that
hope
like
not.
a weekly thing?
I hope not. I'd imagine
I don't
a show based on one of the most highest grossing rated R movies would be out weekly. But yeah, we're going to cover that weekly, and you never know what other news might drop that we might have to cover. So, yeah, if you guys want to keep up with that, please do us a favor. Like, subscribe, click the bell, all of that. It's free, and, you know, we're here to give to keep you up to date, to catch you up to the speed on what's happening. But, yeah, as for what we're talking about today, as I said before, it's 3 topics, and 2 of them are some finales. Some shows have wrapped up. Specifically, 2 superhero shows have wrapped up, Gen V and Peacemaker. But for the first one, we're going to talk about Gen V Season 2. The finale has finally dropped. The show has ended. It has concluded. We are finally in the stretch leading up to the last season of The Boys. And I'm going to go ahead, as always, let you, take the red carpet and give your thoughts on the finale, the show as a whole, maybe rate it out of 10, anything. Your favorite moments, what you liked the most. Go ahead and give your thoughts.
No, I thought this finale was pretty good. I was expecting a little bit more. I liked the season 1 finale better than this finale. But for the most part, I thought it was I thought there was definitely some good sequences in here. I think specifically the ending scene where Emma is saying goodbye to polarity, I really felt that, and I'm happy, and I'm really glad that I felt that, because I feel like that scene I feel like it would have made it so much worse if I didn't. You know what I mean? It would have made that scene so much more like just another tack on to the rest of this episode. But yeah, I think there's definitely some good stuff in here. I like the whole face off against Godolkin. Butt guy getting some shine I did not expect when he was in inclusion. I was
clutch.
Like, what the fuck is this guy doing here? And then there's a whole minivan of people just stuffed inside of him. It's actually insane. It just kept going, and I was like, oh, there's another one. There's another one. But yeah, I like the whole thing with polarity. I like the moment where Marie actually fixes Kate. It just felt like a real not only did it help Kate's arc, but it also felt like a moment Marie needed in this season, where she's exploring herself, her powers, her abilities, and a lot of these dark sides of her. I feel like that was a moment that she needed to kind of be that clarification of you aren't the bad person, or the could be bad person that this school is trying to make you be. You're just you're just like everybody else. You're just really fucking powerful, and she uses that shit to great effect. And then obviously you get the whole tie-in into The Boys with A-Train coming in with his cringe ass dialogue. Again, I'm gonna say this again. I don't know what it is with the writers that write A-Train's dialogue. I swear to God, in The Boys and Gen V, every time he talks, it's the most cringe, corny dialogue that and I actually saw something the other day that was reminding me of Gen V season 1, when Marie is sitting with her sister and her parents, and they're looking at A-Train, and they're like, look, it's the first black superhero in VOD. I kind of like that whole wrap around to A-Train kind of coming, because he didn't have to, if I'm being honest, he didn't have to be in this episode. I feel like you got the gist of everything with the Starlight appearance
and
again.
The whole what were the resistance?
The whole resistance thing, and them having basically saying we need to find Stan, because Stan is obviously probably gonna be the shepherd.
Because Stan is Nick,
or he's the one that can get it actually organized. It won't just be a fucking underground graffiti spray painting resistance thing. It'll actually be some kind of organized, which I'm really intrigued by. I'm really intrigued. I like that whole little segment in episode 7 or 6. I think 6. When they're all at Stan's little underground bunker thing. Like I like that segment. So
Mm-hmm.
like I'm interested to see more of that kind of stuff. But yeah, I thought this was a decent season finale. I'm curious to see what the implications are for season 5 of The Boys. But yeah, I like some certain character moments in here. There definitely did not expect Emma to kiss I'm forgetting his name, but
Yeah,
the
yeah, he's very
the
unmemorable.
the jock look the yeah very unmemorable, and that relationship wasn't really built up. But at the same time, I can see this kind of serving as something character wise for
I don't
maybe Emma
remember.
and
Did he
Sam going
go with
forward.
them or no? I don't think so.
No, he didn't. So
No,
I
no.
so I can excuse it as like, like a kiss goodbye kind of thing. Like, yeah, I was starting to crush on you and like I'm probably never gonna see you again. So
Hmm.
like I'm just gonna give you a kiss kind of thing. But yeah, again, look, I don't know what the viewership is like. I know it charted on Nielsen. I don't know what Amazon thinks of the viewership and stuff like that, but I really love
You
this
want a
group.
season 3?
I mean, it's not even that I necessarily need a season 3 as much as
You
I
just
just
want
want
to
to
see
see
them
this
more?
group.
Yeah.
I just want to see them, and I just really like the group that they've built here. It's not the most like powerful feeling group, but it's like that moment where Emma's on the bed and she's like, we're like some kind of fucked up family. It's like I feel that, it's like it feels like they've almost bonded, they've almost went through hell and back so much that
Hmm.
it's almost like a family like bond, like where personal things and like all of that stuff is just shared through this hellhole of an experience together. So yeah, I thought season finale was pretty good. Curious to see where it goes moving forward. I know The Boys season 5 is the last season, so again, that makes me
Is
wonder
that
what their plans
dropping
are
next
for.
year?
I'm
I'm
pretty sure it's dropping
guessing.
next year.
I
Pretty
wonder
sure it's dropping
when. Let
next
me
year.
see if there's a
Um, but
scheduled
yeah,
release
that makes
for
me
it.
that just makes me wonder what their plans are going forward for the resistance for this whole Gen V lineup of characters. But I do want to see them again. I really like them. I liked the arc that Kate had and where Sam was starting to go with his character a little bit more not soft, but just not as bipolar and like just
Hmm.
very
Since
reactionary.
he knows
Very
it's a
a lot.
genetic thing, he knows it's not a
It's
reaction. It's not a
right, right, right.
it's
Yeah, it's
rather
not like
something that
it's
can
just
randomly
natural. It's just
happen.
there. And so what I feel like he's a lot I feel like that's made him become a lot more understanding of certain things. And
Yeah.
yeah, I just really like it. Like Jordan and Marie, like that's a power like to me that's a power couple. Like I really like them and their whole relationship together. Yeah, again, good season finale. Interested to see what this means for The Boys season 5 though. I'm really interested. Like the stand stuff, all that stuff, the stuff going against Vought is the stuff that
Hmm.
really intrigues me. So yeah. Good episode though. Good episode.
Yeah, I'd pretty much agree. I think the as a season of television, it was solid across the board. No dips, no like insane mountain highs, and
Yeah.
when it ended, it wasn't the most spectacular finale, but I was just like, that was a good show. That was good. That was a nice show. Like that was easy to watch. It was entertaining. It was investing.
It's good
And
seasonal entertainment. Like it felt like a proper season of a
Yeah,
show.
it's
Like
not some
I've seen some people
catalyst
try to say like they
to
didn't
the
like
boys universe or anything.
give a lot of resolution to certain characters and stuff, but I feel like everything was wrapped up
I don't need
pretty
any. I don't
firmly.
need a bunch of characters
It's
resolved.
but I feel like it's just the layer of, there's more to come,
Mm-hmm.
for The Boys season 5 and whatnot. It's just that extra layer that probably makes people feel like, oh, like it's not over kind of thing. But like if for what the season was encapsulating in terms of like, the Godolkin stuff and all their abilities and getting more powerful and stuff like that. And I feel like it kind of wrapped it all pretty nice.
Yeah, I will say, when they revealed that the dean was like some random guy, hurt to see him go. Hurt to see him go. It was tough to
He
see
was
him go.
so nice. He
So
was
he
so
was
like
so
he
nice.
was
He has
nice,
a
but you
moment
could
with
at the same time
polarity.
tell there was like shit wrong with him, like all the stuff
Oh
he had
yeah, he was
experienced.
yeah
Like he's kind of
he
desensitized and kind of just like,
yeah
but like
he's
making
messed
fun
up.
of everything damn near. Yeah,
But yeah, he has a moment with polarity that was nice. They like weirdly, not weirdly, but like Andre comes back out of nowhere, like really heavily. Like it seemed like they started the season off heavily inspired by Andre, and then that got like disappeared in the middle of the season,
Yeah,
and then they
yeah.
brought it back. As for like, I low-key need to see Polarity more. Like I low-key want to
Dude,
see
I
him in the
really like
boys.
Polarity.
Yeah, I just like
Yeah,
this group
yeah.
of individuals. And I think, like I just said, all the episodes were consistent. Finally, Sam's done being like a massive crash out tweaker. I'm glad for that. I liked Kate's arc here. I really thought she came a long way. And, they do some interesting things with Marie. I'm still curious. Are they just like, is this basically just setting up her versus Homelander? Because I will say
That's what it feels like from how much they refer to like she could be more powerful than Homelander.
it's only her and
We're like,
Homelander
don't
on
let
Project
Homelander,
Odessa.
don't let Homelander find out about this.
And
So
they're like
it
the
feels
only
they're
two
doing that.
people that had the Project Odessa done on them.
V, or like that specific version of V.
Yeah, so it's like they're both like chosen ones. And that was like the whole thing, especially in this episode, they really hammered that home of her kind of
Literally
going
say
against that sentiment. But like, I mean, if you're gonna bring it up, that's what she is. It's the thing.
Yeah.
I guess while I thought the finale was solid, I kind of wish they didn't kill 𝙎𝙁𝙀𝙁. That was like
It would have been like a
kind of
looming,
built up to him the whole season.
Yeah, yeah.
And I would have loved to see him
and
Homelander
easy, the
interact.
way that they took him down. It seemed pretty easy.
They really built him up. And
I mean,
was
granted,
like,
he's not like the most powerful person ever, but like you'd like to see a
he was
person
trying to get
built
there
up over a season not get taken down so easy. Like
he was like, the second he's unlocked, he dies, and it's like, oh, I kind of wanted him and Homelander to maybe have a moment. Like that would have been extremely interesting. But it seemed like they kind of just got rid of him to prop Marie back up as the challenger to Homelander, and I'm curious where that leads. As for like some of the other stuff, one of the things that I guess I expected to land that completely, I don't know if it got like just lost in the shuffle of things, because a lot of the stuff, television and movies that are gonna come out for probably the next year, I'd say, there's a lot of stuff that are heavily impacted by like the writer's strike, and I don't know if this was.
Yeah.
But the stuff,
I mean, it could have been heavily impacted by the actor that plays Andre's death.
Well, that as
like,
well,
it could have been impacted by like they probably. I'm pretty sure that happened 2 years ago, or like 1.5 years ago.
That happened shortly after the show ended. Like pretty soon after the show ended, I remember.
So it was probably like 2 years ago, but I imagine they were probably like writing something.
Oh yeah, of course. I just feel like one of the things that I expected to land much more was everything with her sister just did not land in the end. It really does not feel like a big impact. It like we literally found her sister and she has powers, and it doesn't.
I think better chemistry between the two would have went a long way.
That too,
but at the same time, it can be excused because it's like they did.
I have a hard time with characters that cry when they're on screen every single time. I have a hard time connecting to characters that do nothing but just cry.
She's crying a lot, or not necessarily crying, but just like.
She's always just vulnerable and hurt. Like
always. She's kind of just like
that didn't quite land, but I will say the flip side that I really enjoyed this season was I was quite invested with Maria Jordan as in their relationship.
I really like them.
I don't particularly think I'm like emotionally invested into them as like a couple, but I guess they complement each other so well that whenever they're both talking or trying to assess the situation, it's actually very interesting. And I just like the where this team has gone, or this crew. I guess they all had their little solo adventures. Sometimes Emma is just an absolute treasure. Obviously,
Emma can do no wrong. Like,
she can't
genuinely
do any wrong.
speaking, she's so dude. That moment she has with polarity is so good.
Yeah,
Like I felt that. I was
and
like,
she was dressed up like a
damn,
Nickelodeon character
man,
in this finale. I mean,
dude,
it's
like a
hard not to
complete
love her.
comic book here. Like this is just black and like purple shirt with just a fat ass logo like in the
Yeah,
middle of it. Like she's
yeah.
like,
And then yeah, as for the things, I guess like I don't have too much criticism for this season. I guess the only major thing I guess is like the show feels like it's doing the thing that like I guess House of the Dragon season 2 or like The Boys season 4 does, where it is undoing stuff from the last season to make us end up in the same position we ended in the last season. Obviously, the last season had them kind of on their
which
own, imprisoned.
something
Out.
Peacemaker season 2 does too.
Yeah, this is plaguing a lot
Yeah.
of like multiple seasons. Yeah, it felt like they it just and I said this off after the first episode was it did feel like we just quickly undid everything mostly from the last season. Like when it ended off in them being imprisoned and on their own, I was like, oh, this is when they, go off and become adults and become a team. And they're like, no, actually, they're right back here. Like they're right back in Godot. And it redoes pretty much the entire thing where they're left alone again to go. And like, that's my only criticism. But in between all that, you get character development, you get new relationships, you get new characters introduced. So like I like that's not. It would be different if it was like just lingering.
It could be understandable because some of the students like were still attending Godolkin. Like some of them were still like some of them were obviously very like off grid and like purposely didn't want to be a part of that shit. But some of them at the same time like didn't really have no other place to go, so they were kind of already at Godolkin. But I get what you're saying though, like because by the end of the season, it's the same thing. They leave Godolkin and they're kind of like
it kind of just feels like they just ended off That's literally what like the last season of House of Dragon was. The only difference is I'd say in this episode you get a lot more in terms of like just character work and just kind of plot threads they're setting up for maybe The Boys season 5, whereas in House of the Dragon it's just like the war is about to happen. The war is about to happen.
Which can we get one thing straight? The Boys season 5 has to be good. Like
yeah, they can't drop the ball.
Be so disappointed if The Boys season 5 isn't good. Like
yeah, and looking up, we were looking up stuff about Gen V. I think one of the directors or writers, but one of the writers on Gen V who wrote like an episode. Apparently, she wrote season 2 and 3 of The Boys, and then they just put her on. Phenomenal. And then they just put her on one episode of season 4, and one episode of season 5. And to me, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. She wrote the best seasons of The Boys. Make her keep writing the seasons of The Boys. Like
Gen
don't just put her on.
Gen V's been better than the past season of The Boys. So.
Yeah, I enjoyed it overall. I can't wait to see them in The Boys. I want to see I want to see this crew grow. Like as much as I liked the collegiate backdrop for the first season, I'm ready to see them like in their own
costumes?
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? Like
is this the new really 7? But we're ushering in a like more. They're doing good now. This is Stan Edgar's 7, where now they're trying to take down these cynical regimes that are led by fascists and like corporate like.
It would be cool to get BS. like a sequence of like Marie and Jordan, like in a similar sequence of like Homelander and I'm forgetting her name, the Wonder Woman looking
Queen Maeve.
Queen Maeve.
God,
like a similar scene of like Homelander and Queen Maeve in the plane. Imagine like you get like a sequence of like Marie and Jordan actually saving like people.
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff would be really fucking cool. Like that's the stuff I mean though. When I'm like I'm really interested.
What's the prequel? What's this prequel called?
Vought Rising.
Vought Rising. I'm curious how this
costumes look immaculate.
I mean, isn't it set during like? Could it be set during like when the Odessa stuff is happening?
It could be.
That could be. That might be a very big connection. But we'll see. But overall, really enjoyed this season of Gen V. I will say, I do think season one is better, but I think this it's a good
They're
compliment.
good for like different reasons. Like season one is like good on a much more like in intriguing in like investing
Yeah, I will
standpoint
say
where
the
like
plot for season one was
the
far better. The
the
virus
college
that
life, you know, the
that
virus
yeah
and the college life. I feel like
yeah,
those aspects are kind of taken away from more like character driven and more character focused journeys
yeah
in this
definitely.
season, which I like more. Like again, I remember the episode where
Hmm.
Sam is talking to his parents. I was like, this is something I wish I could have saw in season one because
But
I'm
you're
really liking it
glad
in this
it's
season.
here.
But
Yeah.
I'm glad it's here. So like it's good for different things. But yeah, I think I still like season one better. But again, like this season was pretty good to me too. So
Yeah, I'm curious. Will they? I'm so like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of getting a little geeked at the thought of seeing them and like the boys interact. Like now that they're part of like this whole resistance and stuff. Like, are they gonna be undercover like with them trying to take down like the like Vought and all of this? Like, I'm so invested in this particular group of characters, which at the end of the day, that's the job. As much as Gen V could hit the pinnacle of television or whatever, like at the end of the day, if you don't care about any of these characters, it ultimately failed, and it didn't do that. It made me care about at least a couple of them, even if you're not invested in some of them. You got to have a handful that you're rocking with.
yeah.
And yeah, just I like the way they're dynamic with each other and how they play off each other. I like the different power sets they all have. They all complement each other. But Marie is OP as fuck. I'm very curious how she will,
And there's
be
plenty
integrated in
different
the
ways that they
boys.
can use her powers too. They've really they've shown you how powerful she can be without showing you like how much she can do. So like while she can just take
Overpowered, yeah.
blood out of people and like turn it into whatever she wants, like who's to say she can't like literally like just like turn blood into like solids and like do something with that like on
Yeah,
some
and I'm
construct
curious
type thing.
how
Like
she
there's
can
some just cool things she could do. Like
she can sense
she
V.
kind of uses it in like a it's all goopy. Like I feel like if she wanted to, she could coagulate blood and make like a fucking hammer. And like it's stuff like that that I'm like they show you enough, but like they don't fully maximize the realization of her powers. So there's still an interesting little aspect about it there. But yeah, I'm really I do like the thought of like of the boys and Vought in the seven seeing these groups of characters and what that would bring.
Yeah, I mean, we saw like obviously glimpses in that first season with Homelander at the end, and now it seems like they're gonna be quite a bit in the. That's what it seems like. It seems like they're rocking with Annie and all of them, and I'm curious where this goes. But I really enjoyed it. Do you want to give a rating? Are we doing
um
ratings or
Out of 10, I give like a seven
recommendations?
out of 10. I give like a
Yeah, I
7 out of
mean,
10.
yeah, seven. I'd recommend it. Go watch it, especially if you're
Yeah.
liking the boys. Like this has all the shock stuff and all the world. That world of the boys and all the disgusting things and all the cynicalness that comes with that. It has all that. So if you're entertained by that and stuff, highly recommend this show. It's just a good show, honestly. But we're gonna move on to the next topic, which is Peacemaker season 2 has wrapped. They had its finale 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
1 week ago now. I don't know.
2 weeks ago. It'll be
But
2 weeks
yeah,
ago now.
yeah, it's finale wrapped up. It stirred some controversy. We'll talk about this. But yeah, in this finale, obviously we get following the events of the last episode, where Peacemaker kind of gave himself up. We see that Harcourt and like the Argus people are now being tasked by Rick Flag to explore all these portals. And why are they exploring all these portals? And it's because Flag wants to find a place where they can now throw these metahumans, these vigilantes, these people that are roaming
Yeah.
the streets and that have made his life hell. And yeah, he starts kind of aligning with Lex Luthor's kind of ideologies. And in the midst of all this, obviously, we get kind of the uncovering of the boat the events of what happened on
Oh
the
yeah.
boat, and then also we kind of get the formation of Checkmate through Sasha Bordeaux's collaboration with the 11th Street Kids and how they bring
We don't
that
kind of get
into
it.
the fold.
We get it.
No, they straight up like
Logo
yeah
and
they're check
everything.
yeah they're
Motherfuckers probably got business cards, all types of shit.
they're Checkmate pretty much at the end of this episode, and that's what ultimately is the linchpin of this is predominantly Chris's arc and how that's instilled by certain things and what he's portrayed himself as and perceived himself as following orders from his father and the upbringing that he was instilled with, but also his relationship with Harcourt, what that meant. And in the end, obviously, like I said, Checkmate's formed, but we get a little bit of a tease to the future of the DCU, which is Chris is thrown straight up into an alternate dimension that Rick Flag calls salvation. And it ends. He's out there alone, and you just start hearing these random sounds of like creatures and beasts. And that's where we end off with Checkmate formed, but Chris is all left alone in this universe. And the goal clearly is Rick Flag wants to round up as many of these people as possible, throw them in here. And we're going to talk about that. But before we get into the whole salvation part of it, let's talk about where the actual episode ended and the purpose of this finale and how it landed, if it didn't. Go ahead and give your thoughts on the Peacemaker season 2 finale. What did you think? What did you think about the show?
I mean,
All that.
look,
Go ahead and let me know.
I don't think it's an elephant in the room. In fact, I think it's a very little gnat that's flying around here. That no, this isn't the ending that I wanted, and this isn't a good ending at all. Look, there's something to be said about certain character moments. Okay, yeah, out of bio talking to her girlfriend, it's cool, but at the same time, it's a conversation that they basically already had, but that they're just having again because out of bio has kind of been motivated by a conversation with fucking Judo Master in the last episode. Like that's the reason that she's even going to have, again, this is what I mean, like character moment, but like to me, like not a really good one. The boat stuff, cool, but honestly, kind of felt like it was lingering on a little bit too much on it, for something that didn't feel very climactic. Like they've been talking about the boat scene the whole season, and then when it finally arises, it doesn't feel like that climactic to the point where like half the episode has to be about it, and you need two fucking music videos during it. Like I just felt like that was kind of a miss for me. I like the conversation that Adebayo has with Peacemaker and the gang when they go to the motel and stuff like that. Daniel Brooks is literally sobbing her eyes out over Peacemaker. What I don't like is how they fucking have to like beat his ass and like drag him to the room just to talk to him. Like,
dude,
to
Vigilante fucking
beats his ass,
spears him into his door.
That's a little tone deaf for like what's going on in this show. Like you're
not
like
for Vigilante, that's very on brand.
No, that's on brand for Vigilante, but it's also not a good way to handle like the mental kind of like the mental turmoil that Chris is having. Like when Economos says that line and it's like he just watched his family die all over again. Like that's some fucked up shit. It's like I would like it to be treated with that level of seriousness, but it's all like resolved in this like gimmicky like, oh, it's all good, like we're all family like kind of way. And I just feel like those kinds of plot threads and stuff, they needed to be wrapped up with a lot more like a lot more heft to it and a lot more like real concrete like resolution to them, instead of this like half-assed like, hey, we're gonna have a motivational conversation with you, so you need to come with us, and then like that's it. Again, I could talk about the two music videos in here. There was no need for that shit. It was like, dude, watching the episode, I was like, I don't even understand how you come to these decisions, man. Like I really don't, because it feels so forced into my fucking face. Like it just feels like there's no reason for it. You just want to have it there. What? And it feels like that so forcefully. Like it feels so
you don't gotta
like
the no, there's a clear reason for both of them. It's clearly like a
Huh?
bookend, and what the songs mean,
Yes,
of course.
yeah, but
Particularly, "Oh Lord" by Foxy
yeah,
Shazam.
yeah, but and then again, you have that whole little sequence with like the fucking my heart in the ass track. That's like the chorus is going over and over and over, and I'm like, who, like, these deliberate song choices are fucking terrible. Like, I'm sorry, that one I was genuinely like ready to mute. I'm like, this shit is fucking terrible. But again, Chris does his little happy dance. He's doing his little fucking happy dance in his motel room after Hardcore tells him, like, the kiss, it did mean something. I like that moment. That's a
Mm-hmm.
good moment. You should linger on that instead of having Chris do his little fucking happy dance. You might as well have had his clothes off and his little tidy whities doing the fucking happy dance. Like, it's so stupid. And then the way Checkmate gets formed with Sasha Bordeaux just being like, hey, I'll tag along for reasons unknown, and at the same time, Rick Flag gives no fuck. Rick Flag doesn't even. It's not even a thing.
I'm gonna talk about.
Why is Judo Master there in his suit? It looks so stupid. It looks so goofy. Like, it looks so unserious for something that feels like it's
Judo Master?
Like
that shit
like
probably smells crazy.
It's mind-boggling to me. The little sequence where like Rick Flag is like snorting coke with Lex's goons. It's like, bro, look, I understand that this is a different not a different genre, but just like a different
tone,
vibe,
different
tone, different rating.
Just a different wavelength altogether.
But when you're building a cinematic universe, there are some things that you don't need. There are some things that you should not do, and I think having like Lex Luthor's goons and Rick Flag like snorting coke and like a fucking montage sequence, I feel like it makes it not feel serious. It makes it feel very like unserious, like shit going on behind the scenes, and therefore leaving the stakes like blank. Like there are no stakes because it all feels like all fun and games. The part where they go into the little universes, they're kind of like tethered, like in these fucking
and Tim Meadows starts getting face fucked by a Smurf.
He literally starts getting fucked by like a mini alien, by like a fucking
apparently
mini
those are
imp or
imps.
some shit.
Yeah, apparently those are
imps. I guess those are imps. Yeah, I mean that stuff. I was just like, again, like I just feel like the time was not utilized correctly in this episode. And while this episode does come off more like an epilogue sequence, kind of like everything's wrapped up, but this is what's going on now that everything's wrapped up. I just felt like you didn't need to make that a season finale. You damn sure did not need to make that the longest. Is this the longest episode? I think
by far.
Pretty sure. Yeah,
by like
I'm
20 minutes.
But yeah, it felt like it, and it just felt like a lot of time just being wasted on like just pointless stuff. But yeah, I mean, certain character moments that are pretty good, but the rest of the episode just felt like mediocre to like very, very filler shit, with honestly some like borderline cringe moments that are like, I would never watch. Like, it would be tough to watch this season again knowing what this last episode is. It would be very tough for me to recommend or to watch this season again knowing how it ends.
Well, I don't think
because I wouldn't want to watch this finale again.
In general,
I like the season a lot more than this last episode. Let me tell you, this is the worst episode of the season, by the way. But again, all of that again. You don't think it was? You don't think it was the worst episode of the season? Really?
No.
Okay. Yeah, there just weren't like throughout the season there weren't as many like glaringly obvious issues that I had with episodes as much as I had with this one, where I'm literally like there were multiple times where I'm face palming and multiple issues I'm having like with story elements like the Rick Flag stuff you said, him wanting to jail metahumans and stuff comes very out of nowhere. And like not in a maniacal plot twisty kind of way, in a very plot convenience kind of way, and in a very lazy way. So yeah, and honestly, if I'm just being honest, I just don't really like Frank Grillo as Rick Flag. It's a very nothing character with a fucking nothing performance coming from it. Nothing like his fucking son, that's for sure, because at least Rick Flag Jr. actually had some good shit in the Suicide Squad. His daddy, on the other hand,
he's just a good character.
Yeah, he can fuck. He's the one that can die. Not sure why Peacemaker hasn't killed him yet. You know, but You know,
He's a
look,
changed man.
not a good episode. If I had to rate it, probably like a 5 out of 10, like or something like 5. Like, yeah. I mean, there's some again real diehard like Peacemaker fans, 11th Street Kid fans might find more out of some of the character moments in this episode than I did. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, I feel like even with those character moments, it's still just like a lackluster filler and like almost like just like waste of time episode. Like nothing really felt like super like needed. Like I felt like I could have had episode 7 and like I would have been fine without this episode. And like that's not how I want to feel, you know, at the season finale. Yeah, it does set up the
Interesting.
checkmate stuff. The checkmate stuff feels again, that shit feels very unserious. Like it doesn't feel like something I'm invested in. And honestly, I'm the
I,
wrong one you want to fucking talk about this too, because I don't even know shit about checkmate. So like it just feels like
I don't think
something
Checkmate's
that's,
gonna be the end all be all for the DCU. I think it's just
I don't know, but it just felt like something like
it's
at
just a
the end of
Black
the
Ops
episode that like
organization
didn't
that
even need to
does good.
be there. Like I think if you would have had this moment when Adebayo is talking to the 11th Street gang of like, hey Chris, look, instead of hey we need you because we're not gonna do this checkmate thing without you, instead of it just being that, it could have been just we fucking need you because you're a part of us. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it being that like checkmate side of things, it like it turning that corner towards the end of the episode just felt so like out of nowhere and like very just like underwhelming. Like it just felt
Mm-hmm.
very like, and then uh the last shot of them like walking out of the checkmate thing, it's like it just looks so stupid and so unserious. Like, so I don't know. I didn't like this episode at all. I don't know shit about the salvation stuff. So again, don't ask me about none of that shit either. I don't know anything about that.
I don't think anyone's
Um,
supposed to know. It's rather like
I don't know if any of this
supposed to
stuff is
make
gonna
you
actually be
intrigued.
in Superman or like have like a integral role in
I
Superman
think
2.
it
Like
is
I don't.
apparently like that whole
Um.
salvation portal is gonna be like a
Oh.
big part of like
Which that felt very stupid to me too. Like the whole
what
roars and it's like you couldn't have the tree shake or something. Like
the
it just
budget
felt
was cut.
so kind of, yeah, but budget was cut.
The budget
I
was
was
cut
like
right
this
there.
feels so it feels so weird. But yeah, like we didn't really like this episode. As a total, like on the season was decent. Like I wouldn't say it was like something necessarily bad, but at the same time, having this as the season finale, um, it's only so decent it could be for me. Like there were good episodes here and there, but nothing to really encapsulate, you know, like it's
Hmm.
like how good the season actually was. This lackluster ending kind of left a bad taste, made it feel like kind of a waste of time. If I'm being quite honest, like I didn't really need a Peacemaker season 2 when
Yeah.
I got done watching this. I kind of felt like so.
I like how the sentiment. I think your mileage may vary with this season, depending on how much you give a fuck about the 11th Street kids. Just like we just spoke about Gen V, how if you care about those characters, the show will land. That is me with this show. If you don't give a fuck about anyone besides Peacemaker, and maybe Vigilante, obviously, yeah, I don't know if this is the season for you because as much as season 1 was a character study on Christopher Smith, that is what this is for the 11th Street kids. And I will say, the downsides of that is this show has, less action. It's much more story driven instead of plot driven. And if you don't really resonate with some of the things they're building here, it might not land. As for the finale itself, I will agree. My biggest issue with this was just Rick Flag's. Obviously he's
What the fuck?
motivated.
Hold on, I gotta ask. What the fuck is with Rick Flag? Does he have a thing for coworkers or some shit? Like, what the fuck is going on?
What do you mean?
I'm pretty sure in Creature Commandos, he's like he's like in bed with
Yeah,
basically a coworker, basically,
he's
and it's
clearly like he's
like him being in bed. I feel like honestly, I feel like him being in bed with Sasha Bordeaux hinders the turn of Sasha Bordeaux being a part of Checkmate. Like
no,
I feel like if
no,
anything, that kind of hinders it
no.
because it feels
I'll,
like
I'll
Rick
explain.
Flag would definitely know about this, or like he would definitely be wondering about it. Whereas if you were just another one of Rick
No.
Flag's like personnel
Um.
and you just happen to not show up to work and just go to Checkmate one
So
day,
let
it
me
wouldn't.
just
I don't
say,
know.
Frank Grillo. not the most compelling actor.
Really?
What I
This
will
is
say,
news to me.
I don't know if this is. I guess this.
Dude,
is
I like him
inferred.
better as a voice actor.
That's what I was gonna say. His voice work for some reason.
It was good.
And you know what it
Commandos.
is? It might be, unfortunately, it might just be like low key the size of him and the look of him. He's just,
it could be like
he's not
he has
like
that
in
voice,
Creature
but in real
Commandos.
life,
He
he has that voice, and you're looking at like
a 5'9". Like yeah,
it could be that. It could. Be
but
that.
yeah, what I didn't particularly jive with was not that his turn has no reason. Don't get me wrong. Chris obviously has gave him more than enough motivation to go against him, but it's kind of this like villain that he's become. It was like it came out of nowhere, kind of. Was just how evil he became. Like I understand
less like Amanda Waller, more like Lex. Like
yes, he's straight up was like
he's kind of supposed to be the
fuck
Amanda
these
Waller, like
people roaming the earth, and it's like you were never really like that. But all right.
In fact, he even says in Superman, like I have no problem with metahumans. Like I have no. problem
he's just like it's just
he literally says
when it breaks
that
the
in
law,
Superman.
I gotta and that was one of my big criticisms from this episode. And the other one is obviously just the like. I will agree with you. The like music, like the montages in here is a bit too much. I could have did with just the last one to Oh Lord by Foxy Shazam. The Full Nelson one didn't need.
Makes sense. Yeah.
The one during the when they were hopping
Nelson.
through all the portals.
Brother, nobody who's watching your show knows who the fuck Full Nelson.
I don't think that
nobody
matters. I think
but I think James Gunn is writing these things like it's very him. So it's like
I wouldn't want it any other way.
And it's probably like I mean I guess, but it's
to be fair, I don't think it. You don't need I don't think the point of that scene or the way it resonates doesn't matter how much you know or not about Full Nelson's.
No.
Seeing what happened on the boat, and I think that's gonna be one of my big positives. Listen, the whole season, the entire season, yo, Milia, did anything on the boat mean something to you? Like literally, damn near every episode, Chris was just like knocking on Hardcore's door, and she was just keeping it in. And I just gotta say, when she sits there and says, of course it meant something. It meant everything. Oh my God. I was like, oh my God.
I feel that and I like it, but at the same time, what's the summation of Hardcore's character?
What do you mean?
I don't understand the arc. Because she's an important part of this season of Peacemaker.
Absolutely.
I don't understand the arc she's went through. Like nothing has gotten like.
Okay, I'll give you a good
resolved.
I'll give you a good gauge
character-wise
on what she just went through.
I guess she's more open.
Basically,
like
she just went through Rocket's arc in the second Guardians.
But I feel like she had more of a problem with her anger. Like, I feel like that was a bigger issue. I feel like they were making that a bigger issue.
What do you mean?
Like, her anger and, like, her anger issues. I feel like that's the whole
What do you think that stems from?
That little moment where the guy...
That stems from her inability to...
And Peacemaker's, like he kind of comes in and it's kind of like... I feel like...
That stems from her inability to let out her emotions emotionally or verbally.
It just didn't feel
so
fully
she does
resolved.
It physically.
It felt like a character moment.
I guess.
It's like it just didn't feel like fully resolved.
I really love that. I will agree with you. The whole Adebayo and Kia subplot, I think that got really lost. Like they introduced it like I want to say
the first episode.
Yeah, I want to say like one of the first episodes, and then it was like lost, and then Judo Master and them had to talk about it, and the way it was resolved, don't get me wrong, phenomenal performance, and they were doing their thizzle, but it just didn't resonate at all. Not that I don't care about their relationship or anything, but just what the subplot they set up.
We've kind of had this conversation already.
No,
I was kind of confused.
No, not necessarily. She was clearly trying to make things happen, and she hindered Kia's life because of it, and she realized sometimes you just need to let go Sometimes you just need to go your own way. Sometimes you're better off doing that. It's just that particular intent, that particular through line didn't quite land. I'll agree with you there. Yeah, as for the rest of the episode, I really enjoyed the exploring the other universes. I'm so glad Tim Meadows is part of Checkmate. Can we just like come on. I'm so glad Tim Meadows is part of Checkmate. And I liked obviously the talk out of bio.
Better hope Checkmate don't go against a fucking army of eagles, of army of birds.
Of prime eagles. I know.
Beware, because Tim Meadows' ass is gonna be sitting there confused as a bitch.
Yeah, I know.
So,
and it culminated, in a more emotional through line. I will compare this to season 1 because I do think this is a relevant topic or way to gauge this finale. And why I think so many people were kind of disappointed. Season 1 ended on a climactic conflict that was physical, right? The entire time the butterflies plot was built. Yeah. And they start laying seeds for like the cow and stuff. And that's what we do in the finale. Chris's arc and all that is done by the time the first finale came. It was already done by episode 7. All episode 8 was that external catalyst, the conflict of taking down the cow, the more action heavy thing. And maybe people, well, I imagine people wanted that from here. Maybe people expected that from this. And I think what this show did rather was that happened in the last episode where the conflicting stuff ended. And this was more of driving home Chris's arc. And I think that talk Adebayo has with him really instills what Chris has been up to this point. Obviously in episode 7, you get the moment where he's like, traumatized at Keith in front of him, about to die again. And he, says what's wrong with all of us? All of this is me. Like all of this bad shit has happened because of me. And Adebayo just straight up, she gives a whole speech that,
which is weird because in the last episode he says what's wrong with us, right?
Because he thinks
it's weird to me how he singles himself out.
What do you mean?
Like it's weird to me how he singles himself out as the problem, yet in the last episode he's kind of like, what's wrong with us? Like,
no, but he still said it in the last episode. He said it's me. In episode 7, he said
I know
that.
I just feel like it's like, I don't know.
And then Adebayo has a speech that she gives him that was so, oh my god, when she says I believe in miracles because of you. Oh
terrible
my goodness.
Why would you?
You don't understand.
That's a terrible line. I understand. Trust me. I fully understand the context, right? But saying that to fucking Peacemaker of all people feels so
okay, so
crazy.
You don't understand it. Apparently, you just don't get it. I loved the line. Obviously, a clear callback to the Eagly hug in the first season. And that was so well. I remember that in the first season. That brought me to tears. I remember that. I remember when, just such a good line. And the way she, once again, does this thing that she's been doing all season, where she gives Chris a perspective that no one else has been able to give him. And she sits there with him and tells him, Chris, whenever you're not rocking that fuck-ass suit, whenever you are not doing what your dad made you, and you are just Chris.
This whole season.
You're just yourself. You're just Chris. Nothing bad happens. When you make your own choices that aren't motivated from anyone else, nothing bad happens. And I absolutely adored that. And I think Sasha Bordeaux coming in the mix because Rick Flag starts going against this idea of metahumans, and obviously she is one. She feels personally directly threatened by what Rick Flag is starting to do. That's what causes her to go to the other side. And I think that's more than a fair motivation. I think it's a fair motivation, but I don't think it makes Rick. It muddles things with her and Rick Flag and what Rick Flag is doing. It makes Rick Flag look like a very unserious, well, clearly he never truly loved her. Clearly it was more of a thing.
I understand that, but I just feel like he would be like, where the fuck is Sasha Bordeaux? Oh, she's over there making a company that's gonna literally rival mine.
Yeah.
And it just feels like that just feels so forced. Like I feel like Rick Flag would know these things. I don't know if I'm fucking crazy, but I just feel like somebody as important as they're trying to treat
Why
Rick Flag
wouldn't he know
would know these things.
I'm so confused. What's telling you that he doesn't? They formed Checkmate at the very end of the episode.
Yeah, what I'm saying is I feel like Rick Flag would have knew before they fucking formed it. That's what I'm saying.
From who?
I don't know, from like sources. That see Peacemaker working with Adebayo
So here's the difference. Like, Rick Flag is not Amanda Waller. Rick Flag is not Rick Flag.
I'm not saying he isn't,
and that is made very clear.
Very clearly treating him like he's a serious character. Don't try and look at me and
yes,
act
but
like
he can be dumb. He can be flawed. He can not be as
he's a whatever character. They're treating him like he's a fucking character that you need to worry about.
Yes, but he's not super intelligent. Or he is not working at the level of a Waller. That's made clear in Creature Commandos. He says it straight up. My son was way fucking brighter than me.
He doesn't have to work on the level of Waller, though, in order to.
No, but he clearly is not good at these things. Creature Commandos clearly makes that. Like, don't get me wrong. I agree with his term being.
So then, why make him an important character if he's not good at these things? These are the things I don't get. These are the things that make it feel like there's zero stakes. There's zero like real, like.
Well, you know, not everything with Flag landed to me, but that felt the motivation for Sasha to go. And Rick not knowing for is Sasha not to something
go makes sense.
It's not questionable.
But it is also out of left field. When you're seeing Sasha walk out with them on the checkmate thing, that does not feel right.
Obviously, she's not the closest to the group as the other people.
Okay, so then what the fuck?
But neither is like Tim Meadows. It's just they came together to clearly.
I have the same problem, except Tim Meadows isn't like he's a fucking throwaway character to me. Like. But I have the same issue. It's the same thing with Judo Master. Like, why is Judo Master here? Like, it's the same thing.
Well, Judo Master's here because of the talk without a bio in the last episode. Are you? Come on. You.
No, I understand, but I'm saying it makes it all seem unserious. Like, Judo Master being here makes Checkmate seem unserious. Like,
I guess I can see that.
Like, how is that not computing? Which I don't understand.
That is. I'm not arguing against. I don't know.
But I get it. It's the tone. It's supposed to be like almost parody, like too funny to like to the point where it's like unbelievable. But like to me, it's like there's certain things when you're building out a universe that like you have to think about these things, otherwise they come across like that. They come across like that. We'll see.
I'm not personally gonna tell people what to do after a big movie and a niche rated R character. That's like, you know, don't get me wrong, Peacemaker's obviously a big show, but it's not a big character. Like, Peacemaker isn't the catalyst for the DC, like, unit.
So then why do we need a season 2?
Because the first season was great. So here's the thing, right? That's just how, that's how it works, bro. That's how streamers work. That's how this works. But as for the season, well, I guess I'll give my just quick overall thoughts of the season finale. Not my favorite episode, still probably in the bottom like 3 for me. But I did think, you know, it had some emotional through lines that really landed with me. And also I just really loved the whole, just very Smallville-esque. The entire montage with Foxy Shazam's Oh Lord playing really through line in the entire show, encapsulating Peacemaker's arc and also where he goes at the end of this, which we'll talk about. But for the whole season, before we do, I'd say, you know, did not like it as much as season 1. I thought season 1 was quite a gem. Not even close. That's one of the greatest comic book seasons.
I think season 1 is generally good.
Comic book television, one of the best seasons of television during this decade.
Like a 7.5 or 8, damn near.
Insane.
Like,
I'm rating that a 9. 7.5 for season 1 is crazy. But
I think you guys overrate season. I think you guys act like that's like masterpiece television, masterpiece comic book movie television.
It is.
I wouldn't even rate Loki a 10. I would rate Loki a 9.
I'd rate Loki a 10.
Peacemaker season
I would rate Loki season 1 a 10.
So
that's 10. Yeah, that's peak. But I still really enjoyed this season. You know, I got far more out of the character work for the group in general. Even like little moment, like when Economos is like clipping Eagly's nails and Eagly just like little bros. Like I loved it. Like I love these characters and I like them as a group, and I care about all of them sticking together. That was one of the things from this show that I think was the emotional linchpin, was how they all went out to do their separate things, and how exactly that was going to come together. And I'm happy that they're together. I'm happy that they formed this whole thing, that, Chris has made his own choices, and he's kind of, becoming his own sort of hero, and he's not, just following orders or a certain ideology that he was raised with, and all these things.
And isn't that the point of season 1, kind of?
To an extent, I think this season is
I feel like that's kind of the point,
him out of that suit,
shot of him carrying with Justice League, when the Justice League show up in season 1.
Oh, when he's carrying hardcore?
Yeah, and he's carrying hardcore.
No, yes, his arc in season 1 is clearly not letting his past define him and stuff like that. But this season is kind of more about his internal struggles with how the decisions he made have formed every decision that he makes. And that's kind of his entire thought process throughout this season, when he's out of the suit, just talking to Hardcore and just doing the things that he wants to do, and it's not motivated by some ulterior motive of wanting his dad to love him or having his brother there and stuff like that. You get to really see Chris shine. I really appreciated that. I'm so glad they didn't OD him in hardcore. That's what I was afraid of, was really try to force, now they're a thing. And no, it was just it meant everything. And I liked that. That is the kind of stuff where it feels like that's a personal touch. Whereas in any other show, that probably would have been some final climactic kiss or something and I really appreciated that. And overall, I think while this season is definitely more flawed than the first season, you can't deny the soul, the personality, the touch, the flavor. And that's all I'm asking for. Will it, does that mean it's going to be a good show? No, this show could have ended up being an absolute train wreck or something. But just by the time the show ends, you can't get this anywhere else. You can, it is so singular. And I appreciate it for that. And that comes with its qualms, but that comes with also its positives, its uniqueness, certain characters. We needed more Vigilante. But overall, I still enjoyed it. I'd rate the season 7.5, 7, somewhere around there. Not quite the levels of the first season, but I still enjoyed it. Now, as for the Salvation Run stuff, it's pretty simple. Salvation Run is just the island with a bunch of villains and metahumans, and that's clearly what they're trying to do.
That sounds stupid and boring, though.
Well, that's what
that's
what the comic is, and clearly Gunn isn't adapting the Salvation Run. He's clearly adapting more of the concept of the island and its existence of a place, basically a prison where you send all villains and metahumans. And that's clearly the concept that he's moving forward with. How this plays a part in Man of Tomorrow, I'm so curious, because that was the big thing we all left Peacemaker with, was so how does this exactly lead into Man of Tomorrow? And apparently the existence of this prison is a big, thing. It's a pillar for Man
I'm just
of Tomorrow.
Confused as to why Flag even does that, because Lex Luthor's right there if you want to do that.
What do you mean? Lex Luthor's in prison. He's using Lex Luthor to do that.
Right, but I'm saying Lex Luthor has those capabilities. He has a prison full
Why
of
would Lex Luthor want to
superhuman?
He has no motivation outside of Metis. But he has no motivation outside of Metis. That's the difference between him.
I'm not saying Lex Luthor. I'm saying Rick Flag.
Oh, what about
him? He knows that Lex Luthor has these things.
Yeah, he
knows that. No, he uses the Peacemaker portal.
Yes, that is tracked down. All these things.
Right, I'm saying if he knows Lex Luthor has these pocket universes where he's storing a bunch of meta people or people he hates, I just feel it would have been a good time to use that if your whole thing was to trap metahumans. I feel like that would have been the perfect
Well, number one, his pocket universe isn't nearly as advanced as this QUC. This QUC is clearly an extraterrestrial thing from someone and something far beyond human capability. It is clearly something extremely technological, but I mean, I don't. I guess I could see. I see what you're saying, but I don't. It's not like a big deal. Like Lex Luthor
It's not a
is.
big deal. It's not a big deal. It's just like it's just an inconsistency in a character that is already fucking inconsistent. So like it's
Are
just
you saying he could have just used the pocket universe?
I'm saying he could have either used the pocket universe or literally
Mm-hmm.
the universe with all the cages that Lex had. Like
That's why he's not
if his
using
whole
it.
thing if his whole thing was to just like trap metahumans,
But
just
that's
to
the
prison
whole.
metahumans.
But the whole thing about why he wouldn't use that is obviously that shit was tearing the earth apart. It's clearly, against the law, and this is a much more convenient way to store them. As he said in the episode, like they won't know. Like we can pull up on them and like we can take it wherever we want. And I do think that was the limitation of Luther's pocket universe. As much as he's smart enough to come up with something like that, you can see the limitations. How he only had like two portals, and like you can see the limitations there. Whereas with the QUC, it's much more
No, I
accessible.
mean I'm fine with the choice. I'm just like I don't know.
I
There's
could see
just
what you're saying.
certain
Though.
things world building wise that are just kind of like
But yeah,
okay.
apparently this is supposed to lead into Man of Tomorrow. It has me questioning what exactly is Man of Tomorrow, because every time James Gunn comes on like Threads or something,
He's rushing through that script. I'll say
he's
that right now.
he's made it very clear this isn't like as
A
much of a
Superman sequel.
Superman sequel as we all think. Like this is a clearly like a much more like probably a lot more heroes are going to be directly involved into this. And I'm curious what this sets up. Obviously, Man of Tomorrow is probably a title meant for Lex Luthor, which is, pretty evident. But yeah, I'm just wondering how this leads into it. But that's really the gist of that. But yeah, those were our thoughts on season 2, on the finale for Peacemaker. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Was it underwhelming? Did it meet your expectations? Did you like the season? Did you like it more than season 1? Are you interested in this whole salvation thing? Literally anything related to this. Go ahead and leave your thoughts down below. But we're going on to the final topic, which is the Black Phone 2. Recently released. We got to watch it. We're gonna give you our quick thoughts on it. I guess we can do spoiler free because my
Yeah.
feelings on it are pretty straightforward. And
Yeah,
that's
mine
that. This
too.
is an absolute banger. Scott Derrickson, you made up for the gorge. I don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong.
I don't think
Watching
anybody was really ever judging Scott
yeah,
Derrickson on the
watching
gorge
modern
anyway.
Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy
Yeah.
on screen together. Don't get me wrong. I'm
It's good.
amused.
It's got some appeal to it, you know.
Yeah, I'm amused. But that movie was not particularly good. And he was like, "Let me lock in. Hold on. I need to change the status quo. I took my goat fell off a bit personally. So
Yeah.
yeah, he locked back in and delivered a sequel on par. Wouldn't be crazy to say better than the first movie.
Yeah.
Give your quick thoughts. What were your favorite moments? What did you like about this? And your overall feeling.
I actually like this better than the first one. I think the whole like 80s slasher almost like feeling
Mm-hmm.
approach to it worked a lot for me. I think the different visual choices that they make worked a lot for me. So yeah, I think it's a great follow up to the first movie, and I think it does it in like very like not necessarily like unique, but just in a different fashion than the first movie, where the first one felt like a thriller, kind
Mm-hmm.
of like almost like Zodiac, kind of like with the 70s backdrop and everything. This one has like a 80s supernatural religious
Elm
almost like spin
Street.
to it, and I really like it, like the choices that they do to dive into like religion and what that means for the grabber, and how he's like kind of living in the afterlife in a way. I really like it. Yeah, I really like the winter like 1980s backdrop too. It looks so good on the screen. It gives the whole film like this classic lush feel that I really like. I like the music choices throughout too. I like the music
Yeah.
choices in the first one, But specifically this one, there were definitely
The
certain
score and the
moments
soundtrack felt
when
more
it came to
prominent
the
in here.
grabber, especially those parts where Gwen is like dreaming and stuff
Hmm.
like that. Like the score in those elements, like I was really liking it. So I really like how it like enhanced some of the tense moments throughout. But yeah, like what I again, like I think my biggest takeaway would be like the visual aesthetic, the visual choices, and just the overall storytelling. I like the emotional backbone that they give the movie. From the like traumatic heft of the first film that like Finney and Gwen are kind of dealing with, like that trauma. I like how they use that as a means of telling this story for Gwen, who actually like comes forward. Um Mason Thames' Finney takes a little bit of a back seat, and Madeline McGraw's performance as Gwen comes forward, and I really liked her performance here. I think it's a powerful driving force for the rest of the film. I think it's very convincing. Like those moments where she's dreaming and having those hallucinations and stuff like that. Like again, they almost give me like an '80s horror like vibe. Like
Yeah.
how really into the role she is and how she's giving it her all. I really like it. So yeah, like the visual thrill, Scott Derrickson was cooking. Like the script, you could already tell like solid work, like really good stuff. And Scott Derrickson's like direction kind of just like gives us like some really good and like makes it memorable with some of those like winter like dream
Hmm.
sequences. Like, bro, there's some sequences in here that I'm like, that's gonna be memorable. Like years from now, you're gonna see clips on like YouTube and shit, and like it's just gonna be like everybody's gonna be in the comments like, "What movie is this? What movie is this?" And it's gonna be like, "Bro, Black Phone 2, bro. Like you gotta watch it." So yeah, I think playing into that like '80s horror like appeal that I thought was pretty cool. Again, I don't watch like a lot of horror stuff, but I could definitely feel the like the inspiration and like kind of that vibe. I think the way it expands on the first film is really good, and like overall, I just think it's a good experience with like a cool, like supernatural esque story, and I think it's a really good sequel. I liked it again. I liked it better than the first one. Wouldn't be mad if they wanted to make another one, but like
Oh, it's
yeah, I
happening.
really
It's
liked it.
happening.
I really liked it. Oh,
I
it's
agree.
got I don't know how good it's doing at the
It's
box
doing
office, but
good.
like the
It's doing.
grabber
Let me see.
is almost becoming like a household like horror. Now I can imagine another movie that pops off would in, immediately cement the grabber as like a horror icon. I feel like he's just on his way there. Um,
Right
but yeah, the
now,
way
it is sitting
the
at
the climax.
51 million on a
Okay,
budget of 30. It's gonna get a sequel.
okay.
I think it'll do
So,
good.
and the climax of the movie, I thought was done really well. I think the build up was done really well, and once the climax hits, it hits. It almost gives you that like that cheer worthy like moment where it's like, damn, like the build up of the villain and of the story is so good that
Yeah,
this climax
very
is really working.
satisfying.
So yeah, I really liked it. I would rate it like 4 out of 5 stars. Again, I liked it better than the first one. Would rewatch this movie. Would honestly even buy it on physical. Like again, like the visual choices here and stuff, they're gonna live in my head rent free. So great movie. You guys should definitely go check it out. If,
Yeah,
if you're into horror shit
definitely.
or if you like the first one, definitely check it out.
Yes, if you're a horror fan and you like this one, or the first one, go check it out. Highly recommend it. As for me, I really enjoyed this as well. I think Scott Derrickson really locked in again, and yeah, like you were saying, the visual choices every time it cut to like Gwen's dreams, it was in this like Super 8 kind of
Yeah.
recorded footage, and yeah, obviously I tweeted out like I just I'm a sucker for a horror movie set during the winter. Sorry, you got me. I'm there. The
They really
Ernie.
use it to its
This
strength
was
because
weird to me. Ernie is a character in here, played by the same kid that played Robin from the last movie, but it's Robin's
Robin's
brother.
brother.
But he's the
Yeah.
same. He's around the same age as Finney, which means he was around the same age as Robin, and that was
Robin
never established. It was
brought
like
up or
so
yeah.
random. But yeah, like you said, Madeline McGraw's performance in here is like the big standout. Obviously, Mason Thames comes in and he's comfortably back. He's in his element. He's
Yeah,
delivering
yeah.
what he needs to. Nothing bad to say
He even
about
has
it.
some moments in here that's like
Absolutely, he
watching
kind of
the
wants
first
the
movie helps
smoke
emphasize
sometimes a little bit. Like,
some of those moments, and it makes those moments feel a lot more poignant. Like the whole idea of like how he's like constantly smoking and like
yeah,
kind of to not feel the
the
stuff, like
themes
once we
of
get
his
that
fears and stuff
climax
like that.
moment of him like
Yeah, I really
talking
like
about
that.
it, like I feel it, I like it.
Yeah, this definitely goes more into supernatural because, spoiler alert, I guess, the grabber died in the first movie. So
Yeah,
yeah, this definitely has to go into that. But they give a reason, they give a reason why the grabber is so connected to them in their spiritually, and it opens up with this sequence with their mom that was very investing and kind of was the hook and was really well done. I guess my only issue with the movie is that's sort of a retcon. Like it's sort
it
of
is, it is.
like they're like the grabber framed her as a like as unaliving, we'll say, herself.
Yeah, yeah.
Why did he never do that, and why was that never really brought up? Was weird. But other than that, like I think they give a good reason why we're coming back to this story. Is it necessary? Obviously not, since they killed the grabber in the first one. But it doesn't stop this movie from paying off some of the things that they set up here. I thought, particularly Gwen, of course, she like they almost feel like the fucking Warrens or something. Like they feel
Yeah,
mythic. Like they feel
yeah.
kind of
Finney
like
and Gwen have like they
yeah,
feel like icons to me.
yeah.
Like
They're
they're
really
like
great,
their
and I think
story together, their whole like journey together, it feels so like it just feels so expanded and real and like just
yeah, I
cemented.
think
Like I really like it.
they get a lot. They do a lot with like this entire backdrop where they're out like out in this like cabin, and there's some really good visuals and sequences to do with some of this backdrop. And there's a particular sequence during Gwen's slumber where she is like going through it, and like full ovens are coming out, and she's like
Yeah.
flying, and it's very Invisible
Very
Man esque,
poltergeist
possession
80s.
esque, yes.
Like yeah.
And just that stuff is cool to me whenever you know how to use
And the
it.
way they do it is almost
It was
like
shot
it's
really
really
well. It wasn't like cut the
practical.
fuck up or anything. Like
It's really
it looked
practical,
really
but
good.
doesn't look like she's just on wires and shit. Like
Yeah.
it looked really good how they did
Yeah.
some of that stuff.
Yeah, that stuff was great. And just overall, I think, this one definitely more emotional than the first as well. I think this one had
Yeah,
an emotional through line that really hit. And yeah, it culminates in a satisfying ending. This movie, like you walk in, you're like, that was a damn good horror movie. And I really liked it. And, it doesn't hold any punches or anything. It's really, as much as the first one was kind of in, like you said, that kind of 70s Zodiac-esque feel, we're now in the 80s, and they really take advantage of that. There's some synths in the score. We get some needle
yeah.
drops that are 80s-esque, and just the entire approach feels very 80s-esque. That makes me wonder if they were to revisit this franchise, let's say a prequel, would they do a 50s or 60s aesthetic kind of thing?
I mean, they do
And
show like the grabber like before, like without his mask and
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. They did that
like
in the
when he's
first one.
younger and stuff like that. Yeah, but they didn't like they made it much more apparent. Like
Yeah,
I
they
feel
really
like in
show
this one,
his.
like they really show it, and I feel like that's kind of purposeful. So I don't know.
Maybe,
But
who knows? Yeah, Ethan Hawke's in here doing voice work. I know damn sure this is a Mandalorian situation. Can't even lie. I know for a fact he was not on the set for most of it. I could just tell. It was
yeah.
but it's
Besides,
seamless.
maybe that there's one scene in like the back of a truck
No,
that I feel like
obviously,
that scene he's
yeah,
probably in. But yeah, you're
obviously,
right. It is probably like a Mandalorian
yeah,
situation.
but it's still
Because he's
seamless.
also
Like
not in the
like
movie as
Mando.
much as the first one, so I
Oh
wouldn't be
no,
surprised like
yeah.
if they went that approach. But yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the only like thing that kind of notches it down a bit is like the grabber kind of, Ethan Hawke as the grabber was just amazing in that first movie. But I rate both of them the same, about 3.5 out of 5. Really enjoy both of them. They're really on par with each other. You like them more. I know multiple people that like them more than the first.
There's some people that don't like it.
Even the
There's
people
some
that don't
that
are
like,
but still a banger.
Yeah.
Like, so I highly recommend it. So please go and watch it if you haven't. If you have, let us know your thoughts on the Black Phone 2. Did you like it more? Did you not? What were your favorite moments?
Yeah.
How'd you feel about it? What would you rate it? Anything related to this? Go and leave your thoughts down below. But that's going to do it for this episode of the Double Feature Podcast. As always, you guys can give us your thoughts on all the topics. Gen V, Peacemaker, the Black Phone, anything related to this. We love discussing with you guys, so be sure to leave your thoughts down there. And if you made it this far and you haven't, please do us a favor. You just heard us yap for an hour. Like the video, subscribe, click the bell, all that. We do these weekly. And other than that, it's been your boy Keezy.
Mean boy Kills.
And hopefully we will see you all in the next one.